Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to answer some questions that you guys asked me over on Instagram. I just wanted to chit chat, answer some questions that you guys have, and so let's just get right into it. I'm going to go in kind of in the order. I also asked you guys if you guys wanted a shout out in this video, so if you guys gave me a thumbs up, then I am also going to put the question little thingy here for you guys as well. So first question is, how did you burn your feet? So for those of you guys who don't know, here on YouTube, I managed to burn the bottom of both of my feet last August, and I was pretty much on bed rest for 3 whole months. It was awful. I ended up with pressure sores and it was just a mess. I don't know exactly how I burned my feet. I don't know like how it actually happened. All I know is I was at a water park barefoot, and I'm assuming that my foot plate might have been a little too hot, and rookie move, I guess. I would like to think I'm a veteran. I'm 13 years into my injury now and I should have known better, but so I'm assuming that I did not check. I know I didn't check my foot plate, but I'm assuming that that's what happened. And here is a thumbs up question. You inspire me in so many ways. I'd love to know how you've dealt with pushing yourself around. It has been a struggle. Even to this day, I gotta be honest with you guys, there's some times where I just like, I'm not there for it and I'm just like, have to stop and take a second. But learning how to push myself was a long journey. I started off by concrete, you know how they have like the little sections. I would test myself to go like 2 or 3 and then push back, and then the next time try and do 4 and then come back. And so that's kind of how I've learned how to push myself, is by slowly inching myself a little bit further and further, because it's really important for us to save our shoulders and not injure them. So I wanted to do it in a slow progress way. And there are times now if I'm like with a group of people and it's like a hill, I mean, everyone around me just kind of just gives me a nudge and it's like silent, like no one ever talks about it, but I just get like that little push. But yeah, and in addition to that, if I know I'm going to be on carpet, long distance, if I'm going to be on like in a casino rugs, or I don't know why I mentioned casino, maybe because I just came back from Las Vegas, but if I'm traveling, I do like to bring my smart drive with me, and that really helps saves my shoulders a lot. So that's how I do that. And this is a follow-up to that as well. Pushing myself puts so much pain on my shoulder and hand. How's your experience with that? I do have shoulder pain, yes. When I do start to get that shoulder pain, I do icy hot or put ice on it. And as far as my hands, I'm trying to think if there's a time that my hands actually hurt, and I don't think that there ever really is. I think the only time my hands hurt is when it's super hot outside and my tires are really hot, and trying to push with that. Just like Vegas this past weekend, we were at when we were a young festival, my wheels were so hot that I was starting to get blisters on my hands. So in that case, wear gloves. I'm not a big fan of gloves, but I forgot my gloves and I knew I should have taken them. I'm not quite sure what this question means, but I'm gonna throw it in there. If you guys have any idea, go ahead and leave it down below. What are the best uses for random number generators? -100 to 100 for quadriplegics. I have no clue what that means, but I don't want to ignore it. So go ahead, and if you guys know what they're talking about, leave it in the comments down below, please. Next question. I'm confused. How are you a C5-7 quad? I thought it was your last level of function. So I'm actually a C5 through 7 quadriplegic. This is my C7 side. This is my C5 side. I have way less tricep on this side. So it's the way my neck broke is it broke like in an angle. So, or in an angle like this, I should say. So this side is actually a lot weaker, so I don't neglect the fact that I am a C5 and C7 at the same time. What are the best jeans for wheelchair users? If you know, let me know. But as far as I've gone is Good American has really good, but make sure that you check the description and make sure that they're super stretchy. Really good jeans, and a little bit more cost friendly, I would do American Eagle. I have big booty problems, and there's like no jeans I found yet that like come up high enough without like suffocating my boobs at the top. Like, so it's like my boobs and my butt is like down here and it comes at an angle, and it's awkward and painful. So I try to wear leggings now. I used to just throw on the jeans anyways and try and be cute, but you know, I'm in my 30s now, and I'm just like, I'm here for comfort. So if I find a good pair of jeans, I'll definitely share them with you guys. Next question, with the thumbs up, I want to start driving again after my accident. Any tips for working through that fear? I'm shocked that I didn't have a fear in actually driving after my accident, because I got into a second accident just, what, 2 months after? 3 months after, on Christmas. That's a whole nother story. And I didn't necessarily have a full-on fear. I don't know if I had convinced myself of this though, that it was like my freedom. Me learning to drive, I was willing to like eliminate all of that fear for the ability to have some freedom. And trust me, that first car ride, you'll never forget. Windows down, music up, in a car by yourself driving. You'll never forget that moment. And that lives full-heartedly in my heart with me. So I guess that's probably how I worked through that, was what is more important, or what was greater for me. Was it my fear or my drive to drive? I wanted to say drive, but I didn't know if that made sense. So drive to drive. Girl, how can I get your motivation? The strength you have. So sweet. Thank you. I did, don't get me wrong, and I still do. I do have my moments of depression. And that's the reason why I pre-film as much as I do, so that I can still have content to upload and I can have those mental health days, and not still produce content, you know what I mean? So there are a lot of days that you guys don't see that I do have my struggles. I've recently had struggles with like my bowels, and like, you know, my bladder, and my insurance not covering my Botox anymore, and catheters because they were over a month late. And it's just, there's a lot of things that can knock me down, but on my good days I take advantage of those days, and I run with those days, and I do as much as I can, and I love life to the fullest. And then when I have bad days, I just allow myself to feel it. Next question, will you do a full house tour? Yes, I will. I might film that next week. We'll see. It was just, there's a lot of chaos and a lot of party and stuff going on. So I want my house to be back in order from all of that, from like my 13-year anniversary, my housewarming party, and now it's Halloween decorations up and everything. So I definitely want to do a full house tour for you guys. It's very important for me to do that. And in that video, I will be answering all of your guys' questions on my home modification. So if you guys have any of those for me, go ahead and leave them down below. I know in my last video, I asked you guys to do that, but for some reason the comments were turned off. And thank you to whoever told me on Instagram, and I fixed that problem, but I had already went through it, like a lot of my views. So I don't know if I missed some comments that could have been placed. So if you have questions about my house, and how I made it accessible, or anything at all, go ahead and leave them down below as well. What model wheelchair do you use? Looking to purchase a new one currently. I don't know. I have a Tylite. I have always had a Tylite. I buy the same one over and over again. And I'm looking on my phone right now. I think I have the TRA ultra lightweight wheelchair, I think. I don't know exactly, but it is a Tylite. And what I have told others in the past is to screenshot one of my photos with my chair in it, send it over to Permobil, and they will definitely give you all of that information. I'm so sorry, I should know that. I just, the last thing in my brain right now on what kind of chair it is, I just say order me the same chair over and over again. So yeah. I keep watching you transfer yourself. You make it look so easy. I'm still learning. I struggled my butt off learning to transfer, believe it or not, and I suddenly lost my slide board one day, and I was like, well, I'm not going to pay $60 for another one, and I forced myself to learn how to do my transfers without my slide board. And don't get me wrong, you guys, I still fall. There are still, to this day, like days where I'm calling my mom or calling my dad and I'm like, hey, I'm halfway out of the car, I'm falling out of the car. Like, I have stories on that too with my boyfriend, like literally me holding on and I'm like, I'm good, I'm just like listening to football as I'm like hanging outside of the car. And he like jumped the fence at my apartment and like ran in to come get me, and it was his first time doing that. And I was like, oh, why are you running? It's cool. Like, this happens. Like, I'm good. I'm just gonna sit here on the floor and, you know, like, not really a question, but would like support in reconnecting with the disabled community. So I would recommend reaching out if you want like a personable, like one-on-one, like reconnecting. I would recommend going to your nearest hospital and see if they have support groups. You can also look them up online. I think more specifically rehabilitation centers have them. And if not, check to see where there is a Billy's Expo close to you. I know that they have them all over the states. And see if there's one close enough to you where you can chat with people there and make friends and make a connection. There's also social media. I think that there are a lot of online groups and stuff. I'm a little bit hesitant on those because I don't know who is actually real on there. But that's my own like issues. So if that's something that you feel comfortable in doing, then I would highly recommend checking out online too and seeing if there's anyone in your area that you could hang out with. Do you have any siblings? I have a twin sister. Where did you get that blender puff? I'm a recent quad amputee and I think it'll help. I think you are asking about this big one, I think. This is from Huda Beauty. They sent it to me, but they do have them for sale on Huda Beauty's website. I'm not too sure if they're on like Sephora or Ulta or anything like that, but I did get mine in a PR. Obsessed with it. The best thing, I've tried the little ones and they're just, I don't know if it's my nails and my fingers and everything else, but it's just too hard for me to use. So that one, game changer. I set all my under eyes today with it. It's amazing. Name of doctor and location who did your belly button surgery, please. Unfortunately, that doctor is no longer here. He was at Loma Linda. He moved to another state. So I know that there are some good ones and at USC, I don't know what area you're at. If you guys also got the Mitrofanov surgery, you guys please leave your doctor's information down below so we can help everybody out who is interested in this and maybe communicating or seeing if that doctor's in their area. I would greatly appreciate it. My doctor was really young. I don't even know if he actually quit. I don't know. He just vanished. So I don't know. Would you like to be married soon and have babies? I would like to be married soon. I don't want to have babies as of right now. I think that there's a lot going on in my life and stuff, and you know, with me and my boyfriend, I want to have like the whole enjoyment of being boyfriend and girlfriend and being husband and wife and enjoying that moment before we have kids. So maybe in like 2 years, somewhere around there, 2-3 years, is when I feel as if I will be comfortable or ready to do that. I mean, are you ever really ready? Fully ready to be a parent? I mean, do you get bad spasms? I do. And so this is something that's like frustrating online when people call me a faker. And they say that I fake my paralysis because I have a lot of muscle mass in my legs still. It's because I spasm all the time. Like I spasm in my sleep. Like my legs sometimes almost fall off the bed. I have really bad spasms. Like I can set them off with me in the seated position. I can set them off when I'm like leaning back, and I've learned how to deal with them. And if I don't have any spasms for my transfers are so much worse. So I love that I have spasms for the simple fact that like I have learned to do a deep breathing technique to like relax them, and I, you know, like arch my back a certain way to set them off, and do stuff like that. I've learned to use them for good. So sometimes, don't get me wrong, you'll get like that random like butt spasm and you're like tipping over, but for the most part, I know how to manage them and use them. Do your wrist hurt? Because I feel like I have carpal tunnel and tennis elbow because of the way I push. Absolutely. Yes. I have a lot of wrist pain. I do have carpal tunnel. I have tendonitis in my elbow and my shoulder, I believe. I believe it's tendonitis. I don't know. I'm having the biggest brain fart ever. But yeah, I have a lot of issues with my arms as well, and sometimes if I'm doing too much, I can definitely feel the achiness and it keeps you up at night. It hurts. You're not alone with that. There are what are they called? The gloves that have like wrist support. So when I do push and I have like the pain, I will lean towards wearing those, or even just the wrist support if it's really, really bad. Or just lay on the bed all day and work from my bed. What, okay, I believe this question is saying, what jobs have I worked in as a quadriplegic? I have been a childcare teacher, and I was also an office manager for a medical company that my sister and her husband owns, and for home health. And I did social media. I juggled both at the same time until 3 years ago. I was able to quit all of those and do social media full time. So those are the jobs that I have done. I've also worked for like, Smart Drive, and then it became Permobil where I would travel with them, but that was like once a month kind of thing, twice a month sometimes. And so I did do that as well on top of everything else. So I've like always like kind of had two jobs up until 3 years ago. Advice for dating as a wheelchair user. Did you think you would settle a lot in the beginning of your journey? I settled in the beginning of my journey for 8 years. I settled because I was dating someone who was very manipulative and cruel, like if I'm being honest, and it convinced me that no one would love me or want to be with me, and kind of treated me like I was a burden. And so that was really hard to overcome when I finally decided to leave that situation. And it took me taking a big step in my life in order for me to leave that situation. And that was me moving out of my parents' house and me seeing how independent I actually was. I was like, well, screw you. Like, and that's where everything, my whole life kind of changed, was me making that big jump into finding my independence and finding my confidence within myself. And then I was single for 3 years. I mean, I dated a weird guy for like, I don't know, 2 months or something like that. But beside the point, I was single for 3 years, and now I'm with my now boyfriend, and I think I'm a little too stubborn sometimes on like my independence and like my boundaries and what I need in life and what I want. I'm like very much me now. But like I think it's good to have boundaries too at the same time, and he has his, and it works. It all works. But I did settle. I didn't really date as much. I was like in and out of that relationship for a long time. So I did do that. I don't think that we have to. Me being more mature into my injury, I think it's silly that I even had those thoughts. But I mean, I'm not saying that if you have these thoughts that you're silly. I'm just saying like I think it's silly now that I'm out of it, that like I look back and think like, girl, like you could have been your biggest fan. You could have like you have so much power in you, and I failed to see that within myself, for a very long time. I'm newly injured, quadriplegic, and I found the love of my life. When is marriage, right? Absolutely. Go marry them. Go do it. All right, you guys, that was a really, really quick video. I answered most of your guys' questions, but I am excited for next week's video. I'm thinking about doing a vlog with my Ray-Ban Meta, so you guys can do I could do a whole like point of view, like from my eyes video. So that's what I'm hoping to have up for you guys next week. I will see you guys next week then. Yeah. All right, cool. Like, let me know if you guys have any other questions down below, and I would love to do another video like this for you guys. Bye. Editing stuff here. I am so sorry for how many times I said I'm new to this again, okay? It's been a long time. I'm very nervous in front of the camera again, and talking and not just putting music over it. So I'm so sorry. I'll be better next time. Don't make fun of me.